best team ever. Yeah, definitely. So, as I said before, obviously I am talking on to stream as well. This is being recorded for YouTube as well. We see 18 versus Gentleman here. 18 running the Clarent Scythe, Arcane, which is probably the first Arcane I believe we'd seen so far. Jub running the Great Curse Staff with after nerfs, I believe, on the Aura of Decay, and the One-Handed Holy, because every team had a One-Handed Holy at some point. Gentleman running, this is my favourite team comp of, my second favourite team comp of the entire thing. Gentleman running the Two-Handed Hammer, the Arcane with Energy Drain, the Fire Staff, the Nature Staff, and the Curse Staff. They put so much pressure and so much throughput on just draining people that Viglen is already out of energy. Probably the highest damage player on the 8 team is already out of energy. With the Sticky Pots coming out, he really hasn't got a chance to recover from this. Limpo is just putting pressure onto Lucy at the back, trying to stop them peels. Obviously, he has got the beam, the orb on from the Great Arcane Staff of Gentleman, so able to just drain Lucy as well. So Limpo's just kind of up front just to put pressure and get the stuns off. As Gentlemen just have to pull back, and they win this fight just on attrition. 8 team really can't compete with the amount of energy being drained. Limpo, there again with that shield. The stuns into the 18 team to drain all of their energy, and honestly it does so much. Biceps is the first to go down. Viglen I believe follows shortly after. Jub using the Icebox just to sort of delay his life for a little while longer, but it doesn't do much for the team, and that was probably the most convincing win of any team during this. Gentleman did so much just to basically eliminate the mana of 8 team. So moving on to the next fight then. It's actually really hard to find a time that this is that they start running in. There we go. So we do see a change here on the 8 team side in a second, and I think it is probably the smartest tactical change that we've seen in the entire tournament. So Gentleman running the same team comp, but we see Lucy here running the One-Handed Arcane. The One-Handed Arcane has the silence as well as the knockback on a skill switch, so it's not the easiest thing. Limpo just goes straight in with that energy drain. You've got Estelanak draining at the back on Viglen already, trying to put as much pressure onto Viglen as possible. He does run arcane potions in this for obviously energy potions in this for obvious reasons, and basically all Limpo has to do at the start of this is play Peel. He doesn't really go for many aggressive plays. I'd have actually preferred to see him on the Geyser, but having him using that shield, just getting into as many people as possible, is amazing. We see 8 team here just putting a lot of pressure out. It's just a crazy amount of pressure that they're doing to Gentlemen, of which they're constantly having to fall back. And Estelanak is never really getting more than 2 to 3 ticks of that energy drain. He is using the cooldown regeneration hat, I can't think what it's called, to try and get that energy beam off cooldown quicker, just to keep using it. But again, we see it there. It gets interrupted by Biceps running interrupt instead of Iron Will this time. He does get trapped on the boxes, which is a little bit unfortunate. And 8 team running the interrupt instead of Iron Will, running the One-Handed Arcane just to have a reason to basically stop people using the channel cast, things like the energy drain. Obviously Lucy can still use the arcane beam as pressure for the 8 team, and I think this is just a really tactical and smart move, and they definitely deserved the win. Gentleman looked really dominant in the first fight, and 8 team looked like the commanding team for the entirety of the second fight. Potentially if I was Gentleman now, I would be looking at, okay, what's our backup team comp? Mainly because this just didn't work this time. So it was a big change from 8 team, and it made obviously the world a difference. Try to find a time that they're just engaging. Okay, I think they're leaving a second. So again, 8 team's team now is kind of about counter pressure. It's about interrupting the important spells, baiting out the important spells, and then putting as much damage as possible onto Gentlemen when they haven't got them abilities up, when they haven't got the energy shield. Obviously, 8-team isn't really running a major magic damage. They have Jub, but that's about it. Which means that Gentlemen aren't benefiting from the increased magic resist on the shield on Limpo typically. So it's only there for the energy drain, and when that's countered, it kind of removes what it can do. They do put a lot of damage onto Raikou at the start here, but again, Vegan is left to just put so much damage out, and Gubby running that Nature Staff isn't really dealing with the burst damage very well, and having the double burst damage is just not going to work. We do see Estelanak change from the Arcane into the Forge Hammers here. We see him kind of knock out Jub, move to Biceps, realise Biceps was in like tankiness form with Gigantify, moves over to who was it? He moves over to Raikou and just gets like hits him 2 or 3 times, does drop him low but doesn't kill him. Vegan drops really low, and again, a good swap onto Icicle from Jub, just allowing him to peel Gentleman away, stopping that frontline pressure, and it's just such a strong thing. And obviously that kind of counters the Forge Hammers as well, because if he uses the Icicle onto the Forge Hammers, there's nothing he's going to be able to do about it. But Gentleman just taking so much pressure here, and with Lucy still running the one-handed orb, able to knock back them frontliners as well, they just have so much pressure. And yeah, V-Glen and Biceps just are able to pretty much chunk someone 100 to 0 if they line up their cooldowns correctly with Lucy's beam. And Gentlemen don't have an answer to it at this point because they dropped the Arcane. I don't agree with the decision to drop the Arcane. They had to try something. I just don't think that was it. I'd have actually just liked to see Estelanak swap to Enigmatic Staff, truthfully. Limpo goes down here. Sokoran's going to go down in a second. Estelanak is going to go down just after, and a convincing win from 8-team overall. So yeah, I'm interested to see that we had a couple of like tactical swaps there. Definitely needed. Obviously there was some major changes coming out there, and yeah, so fun fight to see. And I do like the fact that they brought spares there in case things were to happen.